ask. Big ask. Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, the play of the year. That is the biggest point in men's volleyball in 2013. Jordan Power with the Brazilian foot dig over his shoulder to keep it in play, and then the amazing defense as well. That would have looked great at home.
pensar en proponer al gerente comprar un armario nuevo para tanta copa que estamos llevando.
Here we have the ending party of our volleyball beach championship that we have here in the PRPB. We organize it every year. There's people from every single floor and all the institutions are represented in this tournament. And this is quite good because sometimes on the beach we have some scientific information going on and so that's quite good for doing interactions between different departments and different institutions.
There's more than 600 people playing, divided in almost 50 teams, and that's why we are here in this big party now. And thanks also to the PRBD that it's organizing everything with us. And it's the 5th year that we are doing this. Yeah. So here we are.
Okay. Service. 0-0.
Bitches. Diggers. Okay, Eric. Come on, let's go. Nice set. Go, get it. Out. Nice. Up. Got it.
Help.
Get it.
Okay.
I got it.
Over.
Get it. Okay. 1-0. That's good, guy. Yeah. 1-0.
Sorry. 1-1. Serve in that corner. I was like, I know.
Opening point goes to Nebraska. A swing off the left side by Amber Rolfson. She and her sister Katie leading the team in kills most of the year. Service error by Nebraska, however, as that was not put in play. And the point goes to the Huskies.
Melanie Wade's one of the toughest servers. She serves a very flat cross-court ball that's tough to pass.
No spin on that ball at all. But it is handled in the middle by Hall.
Cecilia Hall, very impressive so far. That's her 5th kill on 5 swings, hitting 1,000 for Nebraska.
Wow. Nebraska spreading the kills around. 6 players with at least a kill. 5 for Washington. And there's another opening in the Nebraska defense.
Leanna Sebelden's so good at that. She uses power often, but then that little finesse shot over the top of the block. Nebraska's actually playing for this, but she goes a little bit deeper in that defender, number 5. Amber Rolfson cannot get it.
Sebelden made the All Pac-12 team for the first time this year. Into the net was number 5, Katie Rolfson. Point to Washington, and the Huskies lead 3-2. There's just too much time there for the powerful Rolfson. That's Amber Rolfson.
Amber Rolfson going high off the hands, and that ball gets deep over the defenders for Washington's head.
Nebraska hitting 184, Washington hitting 333 so far in this match. Nice dig out of the middle of the court. Jones. And Rolfson. Was it touched? No. Point is going to go. Yes, it was. Excuse me. Point goes now to the Huskers as there seemed to be some confusion over what happened here. And yeah, you can see it was touched. Van Sant pulled one of the judges, not the other. 4-3, Nebraska leads. Sebelden gets the side out for the Huskies.
Super important for Washington to establish their middle. Leanna Sebelden can be very effective. She plays a very high game. She's quick. That really helps spread the offense for Washington.
Star Krista Van Sant with the serve. And Haggerty terminates from the right side.
Megan Haggerty has been hard to stop. She goes off one foot, hitting behind the setter. She's hitting outside the block, beating Cassie Strickland on D.
Tight set here in set number 2. Float serve there. That goes way out. Scambray missing. Went high, no one touched it.
Freshman Tia Scambray going for high hands. Tried to get that middle block, his hands missed.
Sant keeping it alive. Jones up to the scoreboard. It comes down. You can play it if it comes down on your side. They do. It goes out of bounds. Nebraska's saying, I think that Jones may have touched that when it came down.
Wow, Chrissy Jones was going to hit that ball.
Yeah.
Tried to get out of the way, and I believe it hit her leg.
Let's see. That was the one that went off the scoreboard. She got out of the way and it grazed her shoulder when she was out of bounds. So it gives Huskers the point. And Nebraska on a little bit of a run here, 5-1.
Megan Haggerty, one of the best blockers on this Nebraska team in the middle. Good hand position, turns that ball back into the court for Nebraska point. Team.
There is Katie ready to serve. Amber is her sister, number 5. They're number 5 and 6. And Sebelden terminates. Good timeout by Jim McLaughlin, who's right away. Nebraska loses the point. Side out Washington.
Good job by Washington running the middle. Leanna Sebelden could be such an offensive weapon if they use her correctly.
Scambray tries again. Good dig in the back row by Townsend. More good D. Strickland keeps it alive. Scambray off speed. And I think there was a touch into the net. Nebraska was into the net, so the point goes to Washington. Let's see it.
I actually think it was the other side of the net. I believe it was Melanie Wade. On the bottom of the tape.
Call goes against Nebraska, though. Strickland crushes it. And missed! By Wade.
That's the second time Washington's missed an overdig or overpass. Very uncharacteristic of this Washington team. Starts with a great pass by Cassie Strickland, the Pac-12 Libero of the Year. Pass is so important to running your offense, and Cassie Strickland gets it up there for Bailey Tanner to deliver that beautiful set.
Strickland, her first assist. Bailey Tanner, 10 assists already in this opening set. Service error, and another point for Nebraska as the Huskers lead by 3 now, 10-7. Paul Miller back to serve. She is the lone senior out there for Nebraska, the leader of this team. Won the Big Ten Sportsmanship Award this year. Is 4th in that conference in assists. And the Washington block picks up the point for the Huskies.
Nebraska needs to do a better job in transition, giving their their hitter, a ball closer to the net to put away.
Washington only hitting 125 this set. Huskies have really fallen down in that category. Good dig. Phenom got her hand in there. Van Sant, rare hitting error for Krista Van Sant. You don't see that happen very often.
That ball was set a little bit wide. Krista Van Sant can't keep it in play. The key right now, both teams need to dig the ball and put it in a good place offensively to score.
Oh, nice. But even better, as that is put in a perfect spot by Hall.
7-4-7, Cecilia Hall, the hot hitter. Both middles having a big night for Nebraska so far.
Albrecht with that serve. Van Sant. Rolfson. Well, we have another regional final set in Louisville, Wisconsin, and Penn State. Both advancing as the higher seeds. Sorry, Holly, Penn State beating UCLA. Well, UCLA did a good job to get to that point.
Penn State is tough. They've got lots of weapons. They're one of my favorites to win it all.
A lot of people are saying that match is the equivalent of a national semifinal. Those two programs, Wisconsin and Penn State. But that's to get to the semifinals. Another point picked up from that left side by Rolfson.
Katie Rolfson, 2 big kills for Nebraska back to back.
Regionals because of the proximity on the West Coast. So we have the fortune of seeing all the scores come in out here. Good off speed. Nice dig. And Rolfson tools the block. Again, another kill on that left side for Katie Rolfson.
Credit the libero, Justine Wong-Orantes for Nebraska, keeping the ball live, digging Krista Van Sant a couple times. And then Rolfson with the kill on the left side.
Justine Wong-Orantes back to serve. Cypress, California. And that looked like an angry swing by Sebelden as she gets the side out for Washington. You mentioned Penn State, Holly. Boy, Penn State is the premier program in women's college volleyball over the last 10 years. Look at those 4 titles in a row from 2007 to 2010. Then last year, a surprise title, winning that.
I learned a big lesson.
Yeah,
never count Penn State out. And I saw them this preseason. They had 3 freshmen starting. One was injured. Haley Washington wasn't even playing. I mean, I just think they're amazing. And back-to-back every year, they're there pushing for the title.
They've gotten better and better as this season has progressed. And that's not an overstatement. It's the absolute truth of them. Wisconsin, though, stands in the way. Point to Nebraska. Nebraska's really turned it around this set.
They certainly are, and they're controlling the dig better and running an offense. That's something they're doing better than Washington.
Route to the title. And it's not going to happen this year, even if Washington were to win it, as they dropped a set to Hawaii last weekend. Nebraska threatening to win a set here tonight, as the Huskers now with an 8-point lead. The hitting percentage has dramatically shifted in this match.
Well, in the second set, Washington's hitting .077. Nebraska hitting .435.
It's a 9-3 run ended there by Washington, as the Huskers have now won 9 of the last 13 points.
Washington, on average, hits about 314 compared to Nebraska's 236. So Nebraska way above their average, Washington way below.
Haggerty reaches up and somehow brings that one back down into the court.
Megan Haggerty and Cecilia Hall in the middle for Nebraska have been fantastic. And credit Mary Polly Miller, for setting a good offense out of the middle.
Katie Rolfson serving. Too much on it. Point to Washington. Another service error for Nebraska.
Haggerty's 3 for 5, hitting 600. Hall 7 for 7, hitting 1,000 out of the middle for Nebraska.
Strickland back to serve, just who Washington would like to see back there. Right at Townsend. Point to Washington, double contact.
Well, that's the benefit because Cassie Strickland just bombs her serve. There's lots of top spin and then lots of spin comes off the pass. Sometimes hard for the setter to handle like that last ball.
See how quiet it is here. 7,000 people here, and it was worth getting quiet as Strickland delivers with an ace.
Cassie Strickland so aggressive, bombing that ball, enough top spin to get that ball to come down and drop on the back line for Washington.
Point Nebraska, as the Huskers are closing in on tying this match at a set apiece before intermission.
This time the setter, Mary Paula Miller, tooling the block for a kill. Rare when she gets that opportunity.
And the Huskers keep piling it on.
Nebraska playing very solid defense, keeping it alive, and then able to get kills in transition.
Schwann in for the Huskies. Walked it over there any better. And my apologies, that's not Rolfson, that's Kelsey Fiend. She snuck in there on that left side.
Kelsey Fiend, wow, look at this dig to keep it alive. Fiend, and then at the end, she gets the kill to the corner for Nebraska.
23-14, Nebraska has just poured it on. It is set point now as the Huskers have come back strong after dropping the opening set 25-20.
Cecilia Hall 8 for 8 out of the middle for Nebraska.
They have hit over 500 this set. Block for Washington to keep the Huskies alive for now.
But I'll tell you, Nebraska has a lot of set points and the advantage and all the momentum in this second set.
Heads up play by Van Sant. Schwann hits it long, and Nebraska has just tied this match up. If the call sticks, wait a minute. We may have a reverse call.
Let's take a look again. Courtney Schwann swings deep.
And the back judge calls it in, and the up judge changes the call. So the point goes to Washington, but the set point remains for Nebraska. Another point for the Huskies. Huskies
putting some pressure on Nebraska, but I'll tell you, 25 24-17. Nebraska has too many set points, in my opinion, for Washington to be able to come back.
Let's see. To try to make this interesting, but the law of averages would agree with you, Holly. However, Nebraska wants a timeout.
Lots of close line calls so far today. We've seen about 4 or 5 that are just could be in, could be out. This time the triple block there for Washington, and then a lift on the cover play by Nebraska.
4 set points have been saved. There's the latest.
Definitely a lift on that one. Washington hitting in this set.
Oh, nice serve. No way. Nice. Oh! Oh, beautiful.
Touch.
Right hand. Oh, yeah! Red bush. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. What happened to Dave Kowski?
Nice tool. Nice serve.
Over. Drifted that one. Both way up there. Serve it in the net.
Oh my gosh.
Big ask. Big ask. Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, the play of the year. That is the biggest point in men's volleyball in 2013. Jordan Power with the Brazilian foot dig over his shoulder to keep it in play. And then the amazing defense as well. That would have looked great at home.
The Versailles volleyball team won its 6th straight Van Wert Invitational title today, sweeping New Knoxville 2-0. New Bremen and the host Cougars playing for 3rd place. Cards say hi. Waving out to us there. Red up 1 in the first, adding to it. Paige Jones gets the big kill. And it's her teammate, junior Devin Heitkamp. The hammer, 4-1 start for New Bremen. Back swings the host Cougars, though. Mackenzie Collins, a big kill, as New Bremen can't handle that one. And then Van Wert continues to swing big. Emma Kahn, the hit, nice up by Caitlin Arns, and that leads to a Steph Brandt slam out of the middle. New Bremen takes this one 2-1 in the 3rd place match.
Hi, Greg Sokolski, sports analyst with Athletic Achievements. We're coming to you live today from the sunny, sand-soaked beaches of Lake Phelan on St. Paul's historic east side. We're going to bring you live not only the All-American Volleyball Camp, but its season-ending Sandblast Volleyball Tournament. Should be fun, should be exciting. We have some coaches, tips. Hey, we're just glad to have you. Enjoy the day.
Hello everyone, welcome to Lake Phelan and a beautiful summer afternoon here at the beach volleyball court as we present the All-American Volleyball Camp presented by Greg Silkowski of Athletic Achievements. Today we have the co-ed match, the second of our doubleheader between Team Love and KDWB, at least based on the program. I'm Mike Keaton here with Sarah Thingvold, volleyball player at Nebraska and volleyball coach. And what are we going to see today with the beach volleyball game, as many of these players take part in court volleyball?
Right, so for the last 3 days, they've been practicing at the camp inside, their inside game. So now what they're doing is they're taking their inside game outside. So we're going to see how they can now work a lot of finesse and ball control in the sand.
And what's going to be the big focus for today? Obviously they'll want to win, but there seems to be more of a big picture feeling, a more long-term prospect to this.
Yeah, you know, I think what Greg really wants to emphasize here is how volleyball is a lifelong sport. Volleyball is a fun sport. You have a lot of sports that really captivate a lot of athletes' times, but you know, there's a lot of boys out there who really love to play, and there's opportunity for the boys. They have USA teams as well. So Greg just has really a heart for these boys, and he really wants to try to energize them to come and play. and get the youth excited about it.
Hi, my name is Nick Mueller. I go to high school at Stillwater area. I've been playing volleyball for 4 years and competitively for 2. My favorite thing about volleyball is getting a really good hit or getting a really good dig. Hey, I'm John. I go to Stillwater and I'm on Team Love. I really like volleyball. I've been playing for 3 years and it's my favorite sport so far.
Hello, my name is Derek Klingvold. I go to Stillwater High School. I'm going into 11th grade and my interest is sports and outdoor activities.
Okay, hi, I'm Savannah Handovit. I've been playing volleyball for like 7 years competitively for the junior highs and the high school, and I will be a senior.
Hi, I'm Zach Lockett. I go to Centennial and I love volleyball, and I mean, it's beach day, so sun's out, guns out.
Hi, I'm Garrett On, and I go to Centennial, and I've been playing volleyball for like 6 months now.
I'm Chris Kirby. I go to Centennial High School, play volleyball. Volleyball for life.
Hi, I'm Julia Walfort, and I go to Cambridge Iceni High School, and I've been playing volleyball for 6 years now, and I really love the game. I enjoy it. I'm planning on playing in college, probably D3, but still, it's something. And I just really enjoy the game and all the people that I've met, and I've learned a lot over the years, and I really enjoy the game.
Hi, Greg Sokolski back again. I also have the honor to serve as the Executive Director to the Sports and Life Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to providing academic, athletic, cultural, and personal development opportunities for kids in the inner city and urban communities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Today we're at the All-American Volleyball Camp, and for the 15th year we are very proud to sponsor one of the most unique summer camp experiences. Not only do we have the opportunity to work with women from grades 6 through 12, but in our quest to grow the game for men, we now have a co-ed format. And later today you're going to be watching the boys and the girls compete together. Also, we are very proud of the fact that we have the highest number of kids of color attending our camp. We do so by providing financial aid scholarship opportunities, again, something not offered anywhere in the Midwest area. So, co-ed volleyball, financial aid scholarships, an outdoor training format to make this a lifelong endeavor, Sports and Life, dedicated to opportunities, creating fun, and just making this a little better place in today's world.
And we're about to start this first of 3 matches, and we're going to have a guest join us in the booth as we begin this match.
Roger has been a long time volleyball player. Has actually worked the camp, actually did some medical staffing for us, and he'll be coaching the guys' games, and he's got to bring a lot of expertise to this team.
Well, why don't you go ahead and join us, Roger, if you can, for a moment, and well, just tell us about your experience and what should we expect from the players today.
Well, these are young, enthusiastic players, and so what we're going to see is a lot of action. The main thing in the sand is to really work on court positioning and anticipating where the ball is going to go. It's a lot harder to move laterally on the sand. Jumping is difficult too, but the main thing is getting into position. And so it's going to be all about positioning and working together.
And what does this camp do for these players? It gives them it gives them a chance to practice another type of volleyball, but what else does it offer them?
Well, the big picture is just enthusiasm for the sport and a long-range outlook. So making volleyball just kind of part of their lifestyle.
Thanks for joining us, and we begin the first set of this best of 3. Team Love naturally in the replica jerseys worn by Kevin Love at this year's NBA All-Star Game, and Kevin Love himself is actually looking to sign a professional beach volleyball contract with the NBA in lockout mode.
We had, the ball. You know, communication, again, these boys, we have 2 twins on the team here, Nick and John Mueller. They're both from Stillwater. In fact, we have this team, all the kids are from Stillwater, but they all haven't played together before, only the 2 brothers.
And Derek Thingvold, one of them, I'm assuming there's some relation between the 2?
There is. He's my boy. He's my son. He is going to be a junior this year. He really has only played a little bit of grass and sand here or there. So he saw court for the very first time this week, and it was really fun. He did well.
And I'm pretty sure that will not influence your commentary of this match.
Oh, no.
We're kidding. We wish the best and for all the players out here. And I believe Derek sent it out of bounds, so maybe you'll have a little talking to with him afterwards.
Yeah, Derek really likes the floater serve, trying to get him to work on his and that's another thing about serving. You have your float and you have your top spin. And both of them definitely have a finesse to them.
Now, I like what this KDWB team is doing, and the Team Love team after the first game. The All-American girls were talking about how hot the sand was, so as one of the Muellers overserves, everyone on the KDWB team wearing black socks, and a couple of them on the Love team wearing socks as well. I suppose that helps shield against the sand temperature?
Yes, it does. That sand gets really hot in the afternoon sun. They actually do make beach socks that people can wear, but these kids improvised and they're wearing their own socks, so it works. And then again, there you go, the difference between court and sandball.
I've got my sneakers on. I'm pretty well shielded against the sand. As Walfort hitting up, and nice kill by guy in the Speedo shirt. Yes, Garrett on from Centennial. In fact, all three of the male players on KDWB's team are from Centennial: Zach Glock, Chris Kirby, and Garrett on. Derek Thingvold just got under that.
Another factor to keep in mind, what the coach for the boys team just commented on, was the wind. When you're serving into the wind, it's going to hold up the ball and it's going to fall shorter. So he asked all the boys to make sure that they take a step up.
6-5, Team Love over KDWB. On, couldn't get in position, and it goes to Team Love for the point. It's now 7-5, and again, best of three. We have rally scoring in beach volleyball, no different from your court volleyball, but we play up to 21 with a 23-point cap. And just like the tiebreaker set in court volleyball, we play the third match up to 15 if necessary. Team Love up 8-5 over KDWB. I kind of wish Kevin Love was here to see this. Maybe he could give him a couple pointers.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Well, he's a master of double-doubles. I'm sure he'd be the master of some spiking or some kills or even a block. At his height?
Yeah, if only we were so lucky to see him, to have him come.
Kevin, if you're watching this, please stop by.
Come to Minnesota. It's glorious. It's beautiful. Learn from you. Have some fun. I'll bring you to Stillwater. It's a landmark in Minnesota.
Random tangent, but I know my mother's boss owns a business in Stillwater. Kitchens of Stillwater, actually. And that concludes our random tangent of the day presented by TSB Television. It's 10-6 Team Love over KDWB in this first set.
Okay, so we have Nick now, of the two twins, serving.
Walfort there, and it's Ong. And that's John Mueller going to Walfort. Walfort digs it. On again. Thingvold to Handeville. And that was Nick, who was short, but right idea.
Yep, it looked like he thought he was on the court. Here's sand, you can't snap so hard when you're away from it.
Nick wearing the sunglasses, John with the longer set of locks. And Thingvold hit the net, and it just stays in bounds to give Team Love their 11th point in this first set. It was touched by a KDWB player. It was touched by Chris Kirby. On again. Thingvold with the dig. Handeville. And Nick was blocked, and with the block, I believe was Chris?
Yep, it was Chris Mueller. No, Nick Mueller. He had the swing.
Nick Mueller had the swing, and then it was blocked by KDWB.
Oh, yeah. Nick got it in the net, actually, but Chris was up the net for the block.
Again, they don't have numbers, so getting the names and the faces down takes a little bit longer, but we'll have everything set for you by the third set if we get to that. 12-8. Thingvold tried the dig, but no one was in position to take the pass. And that makes the score 12-9 in favor of Team Love. Out of bounds. And Zach Locke not too happy about that.
No, he's not. He's a strong player. He's a basketball player. He's a good setter. He's been setting at the camp all week.
I might have to adjust this to a TV PG rating. Look at that, and the ball comes right. Well, I thought it was going to come under the scores table. I thought we were going to end up playing.
Doesn't that happen? The ball comes so fast. It's like, duck.
Well, we're right near the playing surface. The only thing that's stopping a ball from getting over here is this table, and I don't trust it if it's a high bounce. It's a good thing we're playing on sand. If we were playing on the traditional court surface, that ball would be bouncing around.
Yeah, and if you look at my hands or volleyball players' hands, you know, you get used to the ball hitting you in different places. So it comes as it is.
Well, I've gone to many court volleyball games over at the Sports Pavilion at the U of M, and I'll go to watch warm-ups, and you have to be ready to block a few balls or deflect a few high ones as they bounce. And out of bounds is Team KDWB, so Team Love goes up 14-11, and we've had a very close first set. Was blocked by Handeville, but there with the dig is Walford, and Handeville comes up with another near block. And that ball just spun around, and the pen goes. I'm gonna go. Oh, there it is. I was about to go on a high-speed chase for it. As I mentioned with this microphone, I feel like I'm hosting Family Feud.
Usually you have the earpiece in.
Normally. And with the block was Kirby, and Kirby playing some great defense at the front of the net.
Yeah, you know, just if they take a little bit of their wrist snap off, they would have it in the court. So, you know, I'm hoping that the coach is going to be able to communicate that with them.
14-13 in favor of KDWB. Hit the net, and that goes to KDWB, and they've scored the last 3 points to tie this up.
Oh, they really are. They're having a rally score going on here. Don't want to break that momentum. Momentum is key to volleyball.
Especially with rally scoring when you have a point on every play, as Thingvold tries to turn the tide. Can't do it. Handeville setting up to John with the dig, and Chris Kirby hit the net, went out of bounds anyway. So Kevin Love stops the bleeding momentarily, or Team Love.
Yeah.
Walford ready.
She really has a nice pass.
Thingvold with the dig. Handeville setting up to one of the Mueller twins. And with the block, once again, Chris Kirby.
Chris is up there. He is a strong player. He has a good leaping legs. Just got up there, put his hands up, and he got that ball block right back.
I wonder if he plays the post in basketball, if he does. Ooh, Thingvold overshot Handeville, and Chris Kirby was there for the put down, and Handeville couldn't do anything but stand and watch.
Yeah, you know, these three boys over here from Centennial, you can see that they're good friends, that they work well together. I think that team chemistry really makes a difference.
And a lot of chemistry overall. All four members of Team Love are from Stillwater. You have the three Centennial representatives and Julia Walford from Cambridge, who played in the last set, so you have a little bit of experience to go with the chemistry.
Yep, I agree.
17-15, Team Love over KDWB. Walford calling for it, and that's not how they wanted it to go.
18-15, Love serving.
Walford and Glock were both calling for it. Walford did call him off in time, but once again, communication. Kirby going to on, and Handeville touched it. Sends it back over. Thingvold getting ready for the Mueller. And on is there. Chris Kirby with the big time spike.
He's being a beast at that net. Wow, nothing is getting past him.
Showing his offensive capabilities on that point. And Mueller twin pointing out, hey, we've got extra balls. Love 2 points away from winning set number 1. Overserve Glock does. And so now Love is 2 points away. 19-16. Handeville to serve. Glock, oh, that was a beautiful touch on that volley.
Right over the block. Nice open hand, but yet you can't be an open hand tip, but what he did was he did a nice little roll shot right over the block. And those tall boys that were playing deep, they had to move forward and missed it.
KDWB misses, and this is Mike Peden, this is Sarah Thingvold, and we are presenting this beautiful match to you here at the Lake Phelan Court with the Team Love now at game point. Nick Mueller to serve. And Chris Kirby hits the net, and that will wrap up the first game. Did it? I see 21. 2018, the official score. We have confirmation from our official judge, so thank you for doing that. So now Love is serving for game point. They have 2 game points. Handeville missed the touch there. That gives point to KDWB, 2019, but Team Love still at game point, or set point. Handeville going to one of the Mueller twins. That's John, and he overshoots the court.
He took some off before earlier in the game. He was snapping too much. That one, he didn't get enough snap on. Didn't come down the court.
Tied up at 20. Again, we played to a 23-point cap, so next point is big. And look at that. Glock got tripped up. Give credit to Team Love.
Exactly. What did he do? He pushed for that deep corner. You hit those deep corners, it's almost an automatic point.
Once again, Love at game point, 21-20. And it hits the net! Are you kidding me? Zach Glock, that was not intended, we can assure you that, and he ties us up. That's a kill shot if I ever saw it.
Yeah, it's 21-21, they have to win by 2. 23 cap, and there goes Derek. It shanks off of his platform for a point for KDWB.
So KDWB now at game point. Again, we have a 23-point cap, so if Love gets this next point, the next one will decide it. Handeville going and blocked by Chris Kirby. And KDWB comes from behind to take set 1, 23-21.
Yeah, that was an awesome game, wasn't it? It's really learning just to play together again. This is the first time they've really played as a team, the 4 of them. All week long they've been playing mostly 6s. They're playing 4s. It's in the sand. It's not in the court. It's a different game.
That it is. So as we take this set intermission, we'd like to remind you can order a DVD copy of this by visiting thesportsbrain1.blogspot.com. That is thesportsbrain1.blogspot.com. And as we continue with our summer coverage, and of course fall sports coming up in the near future, which includes traditional court volleyball. So why don't you talk to us about how this game will help both Team West and KDWB for the fall volleyball season?
For the fall volleyball. So you have one more week where it's off, time off. But sand, just like with any sports performance, if you work out in the sand, it's a stronger workout than when you're on a court. So this is helping their verticals, it's helping their finesse, it's helping their ball control. It's really a great way to work into their court play inside.
Indeed, and small crowd today, but a beautiful day here at Lake Phelan. And we actually had a chance to speak with some of the lifeguards here who run the swimming area, so we'll take you to a quick video of that and come back for the start of set number 2. Mike Peden here with Zhang and the City of St. Paul lifeguard staff, and it's a beautiful day out to be in the beach, and I'm sure a lot of volleyball players are coming in here to cool off. So what are some tips that they can take to ensure their safety?
Tips is to definitely drink water, because you always want to stay hydrated on the hot day like today.
And what about pool safety? What's the age, and when should kids wait for a lifeguard to go out?
Pool safety, I mean, any age could come out. It's just right here we're open 1 p.m. till 7 p.m. So whenever a lifeguard's, it's always safe to have a lifeguard around. So whenever there's a lifeguard around, you can always come swim here. So.
And even with the lifeguard, what are some ways kids can make sure they're safe when they're out here taking a swim?
Well, if they don't feel so safe, they can have life jackets. We do have life jackets available for kids who can't really swim out here too. So.
Well, we've got 6 people who make sure kids who decide to take a great day and go for a swim are safe and have a lot of fun. And we thank you for your service and what you provide for the city of St. Paul.
Oh, thank you for coming out. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Mike Beaton here with a few camp participants that took place in our earlier match today. So why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and what you like about volleyball?
I'm Emma Goddard, and I like just playing the game. It's just so much fun just to play volleyball.
I'm Rose Coughlin-Smith, and I just like being on a team.
I'm Sonia Adelgren, and I like setting and playing with my friends.
And are you a player?
I don't know. I'm supposed to be the camp director, but they're kind of fun to hang out with. They like the shade. They have a lot of fun. They're always trying to get my T-shirts, see? So, no, these are great kids. We had a really good week. It's a good way to wrap it up.
And what do you think of the action so far in this older game?
It looks like it's been a tough match, but we'll see what happens.
They're really good, and it looks like a lot of fun.
It's really fun to watch, and they're really competitive.
I'm really impressed. I'll tell you, I thought the younger girls, I'm really impressed with our nice All-American blue T-shirt team. No, they're playing very well because they're playing a very senior-dominated group with KDWB. And so I'm hoping these guys will bring their team together next year, and they'll be in the finals.
Yeah.
And tell us, what attracts you to volleyball out of all the sports you can play?
Everything. It's just such a fun, welcoming sport. Everybody would want to play volleyball, I guess.
I like the spiking.
It's a great game. You can play with your friends just for fun or competitively.
And what about you?
It's a great lifelong game. That's why we bring them out to the grass and the sand. I think the training benefits outside is great, but also not just the benefits, but it's a lifelong sport. A beautiful day like today, you don't have to be in a hot gym. It's a great way to enjoy it.
All right, our timeout is just about to wrap up, so we got to go back out, but thanks for speaking with us and enjoy the matches today.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Stay cool.
All right, our second set will start shortly. We begin set number 2 here at the All-American Volleyball Camp at Lake Phelan. I'm Mike Peden with Sarah Thingvold as KDWB has a 1-set lead, or game set term kind of ambiguous.
Yep, they took the first game out of 3. So the first 2 games are at a 21-23 cap, and if we need a tiebreaker, that one's up to 15.
And I think I've been mentioning set and game because at the court volleyball game in NCAA, they switched that up. What used to be games are now called sets. But speaking of game, set, whatever you want to call it, Love starts with a 1-0 lead. 1-1. Again, KDWB wins this. They win the match. It's a best of 3. If we go to a third, that's played up to 15. Garrett on to serve, and that's going to be just short. And I think he knew it as soon as he released it.
Yeah, you could tell. He just didn't have, his arm swing that came across for the serve. He just didn't have the technique that he needed, didn't have the strength. He's going short and didn't make it.
And speaking of technique, that is Nick Mueller just brushing the net, and it hits the ground before anyone on KDWB can react. Kirby, once again. His play at the front of the net has just been outstanding.
It has been. It really has been. He's really picked up his level. I think sand might be his game. Watching him on the court, he's definitely playing a stronger game here.
Well, it's worth pointing out there's no volleyball for the high school level, so a lot of these players, if they want to play, this is one of their options if you're a men.
Yep, exactly. They have a juniors teams as well during the winter time, just like the girls when they start their game. In fact, to the Mueller boys here, they play on Crossfire, I believe.
Walfort unable to take that volley from Nick Mueller, I believe, and that makes the score 4-3 in favor of Team Love. Very close second set.
When I was coaching last fall, I had so many boys saying that they wanted to play volleyball. Coach me, coach me. But you know what? There's not court space for it, and there's not enough boys. There's too many sports.
Well, a lot of,
At least in the state of Minnesota.
and a lot of those boys in the fall, their time is spent on the football field.
And soccer.
Chris Kirby, did he paint the line? Official says he does.
That was surprising to me. It did look a little long, but she has the better view up there.
That's the key. She is up there and we are down here. Thingvold setting up, and Handeville. That went off.
Feet got a little caught up in the sand, I think. She just couldn't backpedal fast enough.
We talked about that in the first match. You're playing on a much more coarse surface. It's not as smooth as your hardwood or your plastic or vinyl.
Yep, you have no shoes on. And again, it's sometimes your feet can get caught underneath the sand and it trips you up.
6-5 in favor of KDWB. 7-5 as Handeville overserves and goes out of bounds.
She definitely has been playing a lot of volleyball today. She was in the girls' match just before this, the same as Julia. They've been playing a lot of volleyball, and they're doing really well. Again, Savannah, she, I think I maybe mentioned it in the first game, but she's an all-star basketball player. But she's doing really well here in her game of volleyball.
Well, it's worth mentioning again. Whoa, that was a tough serve. It just goes off the net, and Thingvold, once again, those net serves, those net points, always tough to predict.
Yeah, kind of like a lead in tennis. You just got to get up there and hopefully you make it there on time before they hit the ground. I'm having troubles with these horseflies. Are you getting bit?
I'm not getting bit, but I'm getting some bugs, and we've got some Japanese beetles, we've got some regular bugs. It's getting There are some perks to your traditional vinyl or hardwood volleyball game.
Yeah, definitely.
Forget the sunscreen. Where's the insect repellent?
There you go. There you go. No bugs inside.
That's for sure. 9-7 KDWB over Team Love. Glock setting up to Walfort. Handeville. Ooh. Someone touched the net, and it was KDWB. That gives the point to Team Love.
I'm impressed. Savannah went up really strong. She had two guys, strong guys on the other side, and she ended up winning the point.
This time it's Guerin for the point, but it's dug by Nick Mueller. And Mueller stumps Zach Glock, and that ties it up at 9 points apiece.
Yep, Nick, he was having troubles. Remember in the very first game? First he was hitting it having too much of a snap on his wrist. He was too late to the ball this time, and at the end he was hitting it out.
Hi, Greg Solkowski, sports analyst with Athletic Achievements. We're coming to you live today from the sunny, sand-soaked beaches of Lake Phelan on St. Paul's historic east side. We're going to bring you live not only the All-American Volleyball Camp, but its season-ending Sandblast Volleyball Tournament. Should be fun, should be exciting. We have some coaches, tips. Hey, we're just glad to have you. Enjoy the day.
Hello everyone, welcome to Lake Phelan and a beautiful summer afternoon here at the beach volleyball court as we present the All-American Volleyball Camp, presented by Greg Solkowski of Athletic Achievements.
Hi, I'm Lydia. I play for White Bear High School, and today we're playing for the women's game. And a fun fact about myself is I have a secret obsession with the House and Garden channel.
Hi, my name is Maggie Mueller, and I am playing sand beach volleyball. I'm going into the 9th grade at White Bear Lake North Campus. I love shopping and playing volleyball.
Hey, I'm Annie. I go to CDH, was at Cretin-Derham Hall. I like volleyball because it's just fun and you get to play with your friends and have a good time. Beach volleyball is fun because of summer and just get out there and have fun.
What up, my name's Sierra. I play volleyball. I go to North Campus, White Bear Lake High School, and I love to pass and hit.
Hi, my name is Brianna Lyell. Everybody calls me Bree. I go to St. Paul Central, and my main position is setter. I've been playing since I was 4 years old, and I live, breathe, eat volleyball. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Maya Hedstrom. I'm going to be in 10th grade at Central High School, and I've played volleyball since 4th grade.
Hi, I'm Hannah Wolf. I'm a middle hitter at Central High School.
Okay, hi, I'm Savannah Handovit. I've been playing volleyball for like 7 years competitively for the junior highs and the high school, and I will be a senior.
Hi, I'm Julia Walfort, and I go to Cambridge Iceni High School, and I've been playing volleyball for 6 years now, and I really love the game. I enjoy it. I'm planning on playing in college, probably D3, but still, it's something. And I just really enjoy the game and all the people that I've met, and I've learned a lot over the years, and I really enjoy the game.
Hi, Greg Sokolski back again. I also have the honor to serve as the Executive Director to the Sports and Life Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to providing academic, athletic, cultural, and personal development opportunities for kids in the inner city and urban communities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Today we're at the All-American Volleyball Camp, and for the 15th year we are very proud to sponsor one of the most unique summer camp experiences. Not only do we have the opportunity to work with women from grade 6 through 12, but in our quest to grow the game for men, we now have a co-ed format. And later today you're going to be watching the boys and the girls compete together. Also, we are very proud of the fact that we have the highest number of kids of color attending our camp. We do so by providing financial aid scholarship opportunities, again, something not offered anywhere in the Midwest area. So, co-ed volleyball, financial aid scholarships, an outdoor training format to make this a lifelong endeavor, Sports and Life, dedicated to opportunities, creating fun, and just making this a little better place in today's world.
Nice pass. They go up to 21, right? 21, she said?
Outside? Yeah!
21, right?
21, cap of 23.
Get there. Yeah!
Here we go, Julia. There you go.
Go, ladies. Hey, make sure that you're calling mine for help. Okay. Okay. Balls up. In. Got it. Outside. Good. Down. You can't see. See you right here. You got Annie? Short. Yeah!
So, Jamie at 11.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. About what?
Okay, we got it
Right here. Balls up. Got it. Oh, I got it. See?
Way to get up to the box.
Okay, so Bree, make sure when the right side's hitting, you're pulling off, like I said over there. Okay. You're pulling off and taking that shot. All right. Savannah,
Where are we at in
when our left side, their left side's hitting, you've got touch shot.
Got it. We just started this game.
Watch over.
Played this one.
Nice job.
What's wrong?
Come on, Lydia. Come on, Lydia. Well done.
So now it's
In. Get there. Go. Good. Yeah.
Next to scoreboard. 6-1.
Here we go. Come on, Lydia. Great effort. You got Lydia. If it's really high, it's sand underneath is a lot cooler. Palms up, ladies. Palms up. Right here. Out. Ooh, help me. Yeah. Good there. Keep it up.
About the ball is right.
So here we are.
Easy up and in. 7-3.
Okay, let's push right now.
And we rejoin you at Lake Phelan for the All-American Volleyball Camp. I'm Mike Peden here with Sarah Vingvold, a volleyball coach, and we have got the All-American girls in blue and Team KDWB in black. And I understand our match is underway, and what is the score right now?
I'm not sure. 7-4.
7-4 in favor of the All-American girl team, and we're playing up to 21 for match. And right now we've got KDWB serving out of bounds, and with rally scoring, that gives the All-American girls an 8-4 lead.
All right, Annie's going to be serving.
Annie Ryan from Cretin-Durham Hall.
From Stillwater. And the ball drops on KDWB's side. Side out, All-American girls.
So we are playing with side out.
We are. Yep, it's rally score. 9 serving 4.
All right. And make it 10-4.
All-American girls.
Now, perhaps you can describe the difference between standard beach volleyball and traditional volleyball.
Traditional, yeah. So, you know, beach ball and traditional, they each have their own beauty to the game. The rules, as far as tip rules, they're different for the beach game. They can't have an overhand or an open hand when they tip the ball. They have to be facing square to the net when they push the ball over. It's definitely who can hit the ball type of a game, who can side out. With finesse, a lot of the sandball game is finesse and ball control, much more than the court.
And we're trying to communicate a side switch. Well, we switch at 13 and not 11. The All-American girls, it's Lydia Anderson from White Bear Lake, Lauren Simonson from Hill Murray. And right now we've got KDWB going at it, and ooh, nice dig. Savannah going for and gets the kill.
Back in the one position, the right back.
Savannah Handeville from Stillwater. 7-11 the score.
Short serve.
And on the serve was
Julia
Walford.
From Cambridge. Now Julia, she plays a lot of junior ball. Some of these girls here, they'll play junior level USAV ball. So some of them play the top elite level, and some of them play, you know, that isn't that top of an elite game. Some of them travels nationwide. Okay, we got another point side out for the All-American girls.
And their roster, Lydia Anderson from White Bear Lake, Lauren Simonson of Hill Murray, Annie Ryan from Cretin-Durham Hall, and Sierra McKee from White Bear Lake.
Right there, yeah.
All-American girls with the dig. And dug right back.
I want them all gone.
And Savannah talking
by Lydia.
Savannah talking about the sun. That's one element affecting play today. Inbounds, and a point goes to KDWB.
Yeah, you know, as far as the sun goes, I mean, that's another difference of course versus the beach. You know, a lot of the times you get the sun in your eye, and you won't have that inside.
At least it's not raining. So Savannah Handeville serving.
So you're going to get a lot of finesse in this game. If you're going to hit a side, if you want to hit a side out, definitely hit the deep corners. That's almost a guarantee. Side out.
And now we rotate with the score at 13-9 for the All-American girls, but they're playing the point. This isn't a strict AVP rules match today.
Exactly.
And Julia just went out of bounds, making the score 13-10, 14-10. And now we are switching sides. We were going to get that switch in eventually, and we're playing, is it best of 1, best of 3, or?
Right now we're playing best of 1 to 21 with a 23 cap.
So this match will be over almost by the time it begins.
You know, that's another switch that they've had in the last 10 years or so is rally score. It really keeps the game moving, fast paced. And more exciting.
Wall fort. Nice. Hannah Wolf from St. Paul Central.
You know, for the court for sandball, you have different sizes. So you have your tall girls, your short girls. But in sand, even the short girls are very effective because a lot of times the tall girls, they get caught up in the sand. So it can be very competitive.
Bree Lyle setting up, and the kill attempt is short. For the KDWB team, it's Hannah Wolf from St. Paul Central. 16-10 our score in favor of the All-American girls. Julia Walford from Cambridge, Maya Hedstrom from Central, Bree Lyle from Central, Savannah Hanville from Stillwater. And it's now 16-11. I can tell you the sun's even affecting us.
Yeah. You know, these girls are doing a really nice job since hardly any of them know each other and play together.
And chemistry is a big element in sports regardless of the level, and that ball was going to head for the pond, but that's why we've got balls.
Fabulous ball shaggers, line girls to help us.
I know I'm not in position to go for a swim. Lyle with the serve. Oh!
Nice try.
Little miscommunication there, and so Sierra wasn't quite ready for it, as I think it was Lydia who was going for...
Lydia was going for it, yeah.
Lydia was going for the pass and mistimed it, bounced off Sierra's head. This time Lydia gets the pass, but it goes out of bounds. So right now, it's 16-14. 2-point match.
KDWB girls are catching up.
And they're getting another ball. Bree Lyle to serve. Just out of bounds. 17-14.
Hey, let's go, guys. Good job. Keep it up. Keep it up.
We do not have the benefit of jersey numbers to help us. But Hanville sets up, Lyle with the pass, and it goes out of bounds with the point attempt. I believe was Walfort. No.
Yeah, by Julia.
Way to go, Sarah.
And it just went wide. Anderson to serve. Out of bounds.
The other thing that you notice about the team play here is that everybody is attacking the ball. So you have one main setter, but all three of them are attacking. Whether or not they're left side, middle, or right side player, they're all going to attack the ball. Or defensive specialists.
And speaking of that, I believe that was Annie Ryan who got the point.
Yep. And Annie, All-American girls, they're all 10th grade. They're a young team. They're doing really well.
They're 2 points away from winning this one-set match. But KDWB strikes back, making it a 19-16 score. Again, you have to win by 2 with a 23-point cap.
And there's that let serve. You know, in volleyball, if the ball hits the net, the top of the net, and it still goes over, you can still play that ball up. And that's pretty tricky. It catches up a lot of teams.
And
ready for that.
And that works out to the All-American girls' favor. They're 1 point away from winning this match. Lyle to set up. Walfort. And it's dug by Ryan, but couldn't find a receiver. And now it's 20-17. KDWB's got to get 3 more points to prevent a match point. Well, there's match point.
People ask us all the time, sand volleyball, grass volleyball, hard courts indoor. I'll tell you what, as a sports analyst who works on player development performance, I just really enjoy having 3 sport athletes and crossover training. The benefits you have from playing the outdoor game and the grass game is you have to sometimes look in the sun. You have a little heavier ball. You have to learn to explode off of that sand, and you've got to move those feet. So the benefits that you have from the outdoor game not only will make you lighter, faster, and more focused on the indoor game, but now you have a great opportunity to have a 4 or 5 hour day in the sun, not very expensive, and you can play anytime, any place. We're behind grass ball, sand ball. Enjoy outdoor volleyball.
Mike Beaton here with a few camp participants that took place in our earlier match today. So why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and what you like about volleyball?
I'm Emma Goddard, and I like just playing the game. It's just so much fun just to play volleyball.
I'm Rose Coughlin-Smith, and I just like being on a team.
I'm Sonia Adelgren, and I like setting and playing with my friends.
And are you a player?
I don't know. I'm supposed to be the camp director, but they're kind of fun to hang out with. They like the shade. They have a lot of fun. They're always trying to get my T-shirts. See, so no, these are great kids. We had a really good week. It's a good way to wrap it up.
And what do you think of the action so far in this older game?
It looks like it's been a tough match, but we'll see what happens.
They're really good, and it looks like a lot of fun.
It's really fun to watch, and they're really competitive.
I'm really impressed. I'll tell you, I thought the younger girls, I'm really impressed with our nice All-American Blue T-shirt team. No, they're playing very well because they're playing a very senior-dominated group with KDWB. And so I'm hoping these guys will bring their team together next year and they'll be in the finals.
Yeah.
And tell us, what attracts you to volleyball out of all the sports you can play?
Everything. It's just such a fun, welcoming sport. Everybody would want to play volleyball, I guess.
I like the spiking.
It's a great game. You can play with your friends just for fun or competitively.
And what about you?
It's a great lifelong game. That's why we bring them out to the grass and the sand. I think the training benefits outside is great, but also not just the benefits, but it's a lifelong sport. A beautiful day like today, you don't have to be in a hot gym. It's a great way to enjoy it.
All right, our timeout is just about to wrap up, so we got to go back out, but thanks for speaking with us, and enjoy the matches today.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You
Stay cool.
In back here, Sarah Thingvold will join me shortly. We did find out it is a best of 3, and so the All-American girls have a 1-0 lead in this match. So Sarah's just joining me back in the broadcast booth. I will not be requesting you for my mathematical homework. I'm kidding. It's all in good fun. And right now, KDWB is starting with an early 2-0 lead in set number 2.
All right, here we go. The All-American girls are playing another game. 21 is the playing to 21, 23 for cap. Out, service out. Side out, All-American girls.
And of course, with rally scoring, there's a point on every play. So we change serve. All-American girls with their first point in this second game, this second set, whatever this is. And Anderson short on the serve. That puts a point back in KDWB's pocket. It's 3-1 in game 2, set 2.
Yeah, and who's the girl?
And it looks like Bree Lyle is taking a seat. And in her place is Maya Hedstrom from St. Paul Central. And Hedstrom setting up for Walfort. Anderson with the dig, and her spike attempt is short.
You know, in the sand game, you really have to make sure that you can't snap too close to the net and stay off the net, or it's going to go right. It's a higher net.
Just at the ground, Walfort with the point. Or is that Wolf? I'm still learning the names. Walfort, yes. So, and Handeville short on serve. That makes the score 5-2 in KDWB over All-American girls in this supposedly best of 3 match. Out of bounds. Wolf I mean, that was Wolf trying to set up?
Yes, that was. And you could see her feet. You know, it's not court ball. Her feet got all twisted up in the sand. She couldn't quite get them in place.
The sand, an uneven surface, and that can affect the grip of the players. As Sierra stops, but net touch.
It really makes a ball that looks like an easy free ball get caught up. And that's what happened.
So one element of unpredictability you don't see in the traditional court volleyball game. As Walford going for it. Anderson there for the stop. And we're getting a big rally going. Handeville goes out of bounds. I jinxed her.
That was a nice volley. The girls kept the ball. Their arm swings were high. Their hand snaps were high. And they kept the ball in play. Ball control is the name of the game here.
6-4 in set 2 in favor of KDWB. And just a little mistiming there.
Yeah.
Maya Hedstrom, 4'11", sophomore. The shortest player in this competition, but height doesn't necessarily mean everything in volleyball.
No, you know, when I played at Nebraska, we played Ohio State. Ohio State did not have, very much height at all. But, we ended up losing a couple of those games because they were fast on defense. They had great ball control. So height doesn't always mean that you're going to win.
Substitution, Hedstrom going out and Bree Lyle taking her place. And great, nice try by Lyle for the save, but give credit to Anderson, I believe, for throwing Lyle off guard.
That's right. Great placement. She had really good placement. Right in the 10-foot line, right side.
And serving, I believe, was, Handeville going. McKee with the stop. Touching the net again. And that gives another point in KDWB's pocket. Sometimes just geography, sometimes you forget where you are.
Yeah. When you're on the sand. I tell you that McKee, not much can get past her. She is just digging up a storm.
Preventing a lot of aces for sure. And another dig.
You can definitely tell that the girls have warmed up from their first game. Their volleys are a lot longer, a lot more ball control.
And we're getting Tanner.
Exactly.
McKee. Stopped by Wolf. Handeville. Another dig. And that goes out of bounds. That kills what was a solid rally and a lot of great digs there by Sierra McKee out of White Bear Lake. 9-6 KDWB over All-American Girls. 9-7 now after Handeville was short on the serve in set number 2. If they do this again, I would suggest adding numbers to the jerseys, or names at least. There's Lyle. Going to Walford. Anderson, and it's going to be, McKee gets it in before the 4 touches. You're allowed to touch up 3 times, of course, in volleyball. Now Anderson going for it, and it's dug right away by Walford. Neither team can really get a good spike going, and that's just going to go over the net and inbounds. Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Exactly, and if you watch the girls volley, they're so smart. They have to push the ball, and they're pushing it to the deep corners. It's just very smart team play.
Lyle touched the out-of-bounds line, and that ties the score here in set number 2. Anderson serving. Walford setting up. Lyle to Walford. And another net. Another trick or a luck play. Again, the let serve, the let ball. If you can master that shot, you'd be a millionaire.
Exactly. When that ball hits the top of the net and it drizzles over, it's hard to predict where it's going to land. If the girls are caught on their heels, you got to stay on the balls of your feet.
And that can happen regardless of the surface. That gives KDWB their 10th point. Ooh, they mistimed that. That gives a chance for KDWB to set up, but Handeville can't get in solid position for it, and that's going to go out of bounds.
They're switching sides.
And that's because KDWB now holds an 11-9 lead over the All-American girls in this second game, the second set. Best of 3, we believe. We're kind of ad-libbing this as we go, but it adds to the unpredictability. And now it's 12-9 in favor of KDWB. The first set was won 21-17 by the All-American girls, if you just joined us. And serving is Wolf. A lot of St. Paul Central competitors on this volleyball team. As Walfort, there's a little miscommunication on that volley as they were preparing to serve over the net, and it just messed up the timing.
Yeah, and what happened was their setter, she took the first ball over. You don't want the setter to take the first ball over. She's your quarterback. You want her to have the second ball.
Hedstrom serving to Handeville, and McKee once again. If there was such a thing as libero, I think McKee would fit the definition. And that's off the net, but that's still live. And Handeville there with the dig. And that goes out of bounds. Give credit for the awareness on the All-American girls. McKee hit the net, but it did not hit the ground. And that's illegal. All-American girls give credit to their poise.
Exactly.
Hedstrom setting up to Walfort. Lydia going for it.
Another thing that's key to remember is conversation, talk. They got to be talking to each other. They got to be calling the ball, who's got the ball, who's taking the set, who's going to be attacking it. When the ball is rapid fire like this, it's just, if there's not an awareness of who's going to hit it, it's going to hit the floor.
The press box area here.
Greg Stilkowski, the organizer, stopping by. And that is just hit the line. Sierra McKee thought it would sail out of bounds, but the wind not that strong today.
My new star clinician, Sarah's been a great addition this year. And we talked about the concept and philosophy of the camp and the tournament. She was just raring to go, and she's what we're looking for. She really complements what we're all about. And I'm very impressed with the blue team. I thought on paper, I told Sarah, I think this is going to be a good match with the older girls, but again, I think it goes what Sarah's been saying all along. There's great equalizers, and they're really doing the little things to make this a great match.
13 or 14-12 right now. Lyle with the dig. Walfort sitting up to Handeville, who's a little too strong, and that makes the score 14-13 in favor of KDWB.
Now, Savannah, who's from Stillwater here, she's your all-star basketball player. So volleyball is her third sport, actually. She's lacrosse. So here you have 3 sport athletes playing the game.
And it's not uncommon for a lot of these high school players to participate in more than one sport. Some will sit back if they have a scholarship offer on occasion.
I'm a very big believer as a performance coach. You look even like Joe Mauer, Paul Molitor, who I went to school with, they all played 3 sports. Chris Winke, who was a Heisman from Cretin, 3 sports. In fact, what's really interesting, none of these guys are very competitive, but Chris Winke to this day said one of the greatest thrills he had was getting to the state hockey tournament his senior year at Cretin, and here he is, a Heisman Trophy and an NFL player.
I was going to mention Laura Gibmeyer did take her senior season off from the other sports because she had a volleyball scholarship, but some will brave injury and hey, you're at high school one time, so you got to make the most out of it.
Well, and I also think the burnout factor too. I like kids that have snap in their legs. So many kids by 16, 17, they're not even here. That's why even our camp is a lot younger now. At the low end, they're spending so much time. So I think your competitive side is better playing 3 sports, but I also think you're fresher. You're raring to go when football season comes. You're raring to go when volleyball season comes.
15-15 in set number 2. And Walfort just painted the corner. Oh, that's another trick shot that you could be a millionaire if you master.
Exactly. She got the deep corner. Those are deadly. If you can hit that corner, you're going to get a point.
I think also it's showing where these girls, the younger girls, are not used to playing 4s. I love fours. It forces you to cover the court. Now, they're not used to covering it, and they're kind of just standing there hoping the deep was going to get it. There's nobody home. So, see, I think if you take these girls maybe a couple more matches or a couple weeks from now, they would have made that play. I really believe that.
And Olympic beach volleyball is only 2 at a side, so that's a lot of court to cover. Right?
Sarah and I were talking a little bit too. I like the fours. When the women had the Bud Light fours, I found it more exciting, more fun than the twos. And I know what Sarah thinks, but I enjoy the fours better as a spectator and a player.
If it's a sport, I'm there.
Yeah, and actually I like the twos. There's nothing like digging a ball, getting up, getting set, and ripping it down. It's just a thrill. We talked about that this week at the camp, and one of the boys comes over to me and he said, "You're right, that's an awesome feeling."
Well, Michael, you can see why she says that. Now, I'm the little guy who, like Angie, is the scrambler and likes to do it. And, of course, she's the big hitter, like Barb, who likes to just, cream us. So now you know why she likes twos and I like fours.
2, 4, 6, if it's a sport, I'm there. Score right now is 16-17. All-American girls making a comeback here as they now lead set number 2, but we had double touch.
I'm really impressed with the All-American girls' defensive plays. They have really played hard. They really have. I think it's the coaching from Sarah this week. I think that's what it is. And she's not negotiating a new contract already. I mean, you know how sports are.
And more impressive, in particular for the All-American girls, as they take an 18-17 lead, is they have more players.